Hello friends, this is Dr. Vijay Kumar. I am welcoming you all in my lecture on diagrammatic representation of data. First, I want to mention that my every lecture are available in both English and Hindi language version. So please go to the channel or description of video for getting proper link. Now come to our basic topic. Diagrams are meant only to give a pictorial representation of the data with a view to make them understandable. There are several types of diagram which are used for the presentation of data. Following are these are the three types of diagram mainly common in use. One is one dimensional diagram, second is two dimensional diagram, and the next is three dimensional diagram. In one dimensional diagram we are considering only length only. In two dimensional diagram length and width both are considered. In three dimensional diagram length, width and height all the three dimensions are considered for making the pictures. Now we will discuss one dimensional diagrams. They are in the shape of vertical or horizontal lines or bars. The length of the lines or bars are in the proportion to the different figures they represent. There are three important types of bar diagram. First is simple bar diagram, second is multiple bar diagram, third is subdivided bar diagrams. Now we will see what is simple bar diagram, what is multiple bar diagram and what is subdivided bar diagrams. Come to the simple bar diagrams. Simple bar diagrams are constructed by drawing rectangular bars of equal width with different length. The bars can be drawn horizontally or vertically. It is used to represent only one variable. So this is one of the example of simple bar diagram. Here we can see that year-wise profits are shown on this simple bar chart. In 1989 profit was $10 million. In 1990 the profit was $12 million. In 1991 profit was $18 million and in 1992 the profit was $25 million and again in 1993 the profit was $42 million. So all these figures are represented in the simple bar diagram. So we can see that we can make one simple bar chart or simple bar diagram using these informations, and we have find that in 1993 the profit was maximum and in 1989 the profit was minimum. So in this way, after seeing at once you can summarize all the information. So it's very easy to visualize the information by using this type of diagrams or chart. So this way you can represent your data. This is one more example. Here this diagram, simple bar diagram showing favorite types of movie from the respondent. For respondent told that they like a comedy type of movie, 5 told that they like action, 6 told romance, 1 told they like drama and four respondent told that they like scientific fiction type of movies. So all these informations are represented in this diagram. So we find that most of the respondent like romance type of movie. So this is a second example related to simple bar diagram. Here in the x-axis different types of movie were presented, or in the y-axis number of people are presented. So this way you can in this way we can represent our data. This is the third example related to simple bar diagram. So here 145 people were asked which is the nicest fruit for them, which fruit they like most, and 35 told they like apple, 30 told they like orange, 10 told they like banana, 25 told they like kiwi fruit, 40 told that they like blueberry, and 5 told they like grapes. So this information was here in this picture. This information was represented, and we find that most of the people like blueberries, and banana was liked by very few people. So in this way we can present our data, and this is the next simple bar diagram. Here we simply put the bars in horizontal way, so we can make a bar in vertical, and as per our choice we can also put these bars in horizontal fashion. So this is the same example, but here we presented the bars in horizontal. Now this is another example. Here students from a class were grouped as per their grade. So 4 students got A grade, 12 students got B grade, 10 students got C grade, and 2 students got D grade. So this information was represented in this simple bar diagram, and by seeing this diagram it is clear that most of the student got B grade, and very few students got D grade. So this is one of the example, and we can also similarly we can also make this type of simple bar diagram using graph paper. On graph paper it's very easy to make this type of diagram with the help of graph paper. It's very easy to make the height of the bars. It's very easy to make the height, because we can count different units here. We count 10 unit, 20 unit, 30 units. It's very easy to make these diagrams on graph paper. So here on this paper we represented how many children's what is the hobbies of different students. So 30 students like dance, 40 students like music, 25 like arts, 20 like cricket, and 35 like football. So this way all these informations were represented on this diagram, simple diagram, and we found that most of the students like music and least were affectionate with cricket. This is one more example. This is the allocation of incomes for the different needs. So, with the help of this diagram, we can say that most of the expenditure, most of the a very large part of a very large proportion of income were devoted to the fooding and clothing, health, and miscellaneous expenditure were comparatively less, but the expenditure on food was maximum. And this is one more slide showing number of students and the subject they enrolled. So 30 students enrolled for French, 20 students enrolled for English, 26 students enrolled for mathematics, 38 students enrolled for geography subject, and 34 students enrolled for science. So in this way all these information may be represented on this diagram, and we found that most of the students were enrolled for geography subject. So this was all about a simple bar diagram. Now we will discuss multiple bar diagram. Multiple bar diagram can be represented. It can represent set of two or more interrelated phenomena. In using multiple bar diagram, we can represent two or more interrelated phenomena. This will be clear when I will represent few diagrams, few chart related to multiple bar diagrams. This method of drawing, the method of drawing these diagrams is similar to simple bar diagram. It's very similar, but here at a place we are putting two or more bars at a time, and these things will be more clear when we will represent some multiple bar diagram. The only difference is that a separate bar of different shade color represent each characteristic of phenomena in a particular set. These diagrams are suitable for comparison of the various related phenomena, as I discussed earlier. So this is one of the information. For using this information, we can make a multiple bar diagram. So here year wise we try to show year wise expenditure on import and year wise export values. So in 1991 imports value is 7,930 and export value is 4,260. So similarly in every year 1991 to 1995 we have certain imports value and certain export value. Now we are just trying to make use this information for making some multiple bar diagram. So this way we can make a multiple bar chart or multiple bar diagram. So year wise in 1991 there are two bars, one for import, another for export. Import was colored by yellow and export was colored as light green. So this way we can at in 1 year we are trying to showing both import value and export value, and by seeing this bar we can say that every year the value of import so were larger than the value of export, and the difference was almost same. The value of import and export both were increasing year by year, but the difference between import and export was more or less same. So by seeing this diagram we can say something about the value of import and export, but when we will see this table it's very difficult to say anything about the import and export, but when we will see this diagram, this chart, at once in second we can make some conclusion what so this is the benefit of showing your information by using some chart or diagram. This is one another multiple bar diagram where we are using three bars at at uh, at one time. So this diagram showing there were three servers: server 1, server 2, and server 3. Server 1 was represented in red color. Server 2 was represented as green color, and server 3 was represented in blue color. So this diagram showing the average weekday network load. What was the network load in on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday? Average weekday network load was represented on this multiple bar diagram, and we found that on Thursday the network load was very high, and the pattern on which server what was the load, it was also reflected, it was also represented on the diagram. So it's very easy to see on which day on which server the load was highest. And this is one more example of multiple bar diagram related to, it's about sale of different types of fruit on different months. Sale of apple, pear, peach, orange, kiwi, and melon on in the month of April, in the month of May, in the month of June. So it was found that in April month the sale of different fruits was highest. Overall sale on April was highest. The sale was decreased from April to May, and again in June the sale was very low. So this way we can interpret the diagram. So this was all about multiple bar diagram. Now we will see subdivided bar diagram. In these diagrams the various component in each bar should be subdivided in the same order, otherwise proper comparison will not be possible. This will be more clear when we will see the subdivided bar diagram. The components can be distinguished in the bar by different color or shades. Okay, so now here we have one subdivided bar diagram, and this we told that the various components in each bar should be subdivided in the same order. It should be same order. So we are just looking this after looking this slide, we can say that physics is on the bottom, and in each year physics is on the bottom, chemistry is the second, botany is the third, and geology is the fourth. So this order should be same on each year in the subdivided bar diagram. Otherwise it will be very difficult to interpret the pattern. So this way on 2001, it's showing in 2001 maximum students were enrolled for physics, and in 2002 also. So every year maximum students were registered for the subject physics. The second most important subject is chemistry, and botany and geology were almost having same importance. It's 25, 24, 23, 20. So we can say that physics is the most important. So most of the students were enrolled for this subject only. So this way we can make some interpretation from this subdivided bar diagram. So this is one another way to represent. Here we are using some shades, but here in this diagram we are showing different colors for different component. Here for different component we are using different pattern or different shades. So we can also represent our data in this fashion when we don't have color printing facility. In that case, in black and white printing, with black and white printing facility, we can use this type of slides, this type of diagrams we can use. This is one another example of showing our data. So it's all about one dimensional diagrams. The three types of diagram: simple bar diagram, multiple bar diagram, and subdivided bar diagrams. All those from one dimensional diagrams. Now we will discuss two dimensional diagram. In these diagrams, the length as well as the width of the bars is considered. These are also known as surface diagrams or area diagrams. The important types of such diagrams are rectangles, squares, circles, pie diagrams, or sector diagrams. Now one by one we will see what is a rectangle diagram, what is a square diagram, what is circle diagram, what is pie diagram. We will see all these things. So first rectangles. In rectangle diagrams, the area of the rectangle is equal to the product of its length and width. While constructing such a diagram, both length and width are considered. The rectangles would be in proportion to the size of the figures. So, size of rectangle is reflecting the size of figure. Now we will come to the square diagram. Square diagrams are useful when some items of the series have values much higher than the other, and this will be clear when we will see some examples. In such case, if a bar diagram is drawn, then the bars representing big figures would be very big in size, while the bars representing the smaller, the figure would be comparatively very small. So this is the problem with the bar diagram. When different components having very different figures or values, in that case it's very difficult to use bar diagram. So in such case we are generally using a square diagram. In the construction of a square, first of all, the square root of various figures is calculated. For different values we are calculating a square root, and then squares are drawn with the length of their sides in the same proportion as the square root of the original figures. All these things will be more clear when we will solve an example. We will solve one example based upon this type of diagram. The area of the squares would be in the same proportion as the ratio of original figures. So this is one of the question. We will try to solve this question. Actually, there are three herds. Suppose one herd, the first herd is named as A, second is B, and third is C. The population of cattle, the population in the herd A is 45,000, population in B is 10,000, and population in C herd is 4,000. Now, for making a square diagram, first what we will do, we will square root the population size. So a square root 45,000 is around 212. A square root 10,000 it's 100, and a square root 4,000 is around 63. Now for again this square root value is also very large, so we will divide this value with a certain number. Suppose this is up to my choice, this is up to investigator choice. You can divide it by any number as per after dividing. The value must be some considerable value should come, so that you can make a square. So now we will divide this square root value by 50. So divide 212.132 by 50, we will get 4.24. So the size of one side, the length of one side of our square will be 4.24 centimeter. Similarly, we will divide 100 by 50, and for C herd we will divide 63 by 50. So all square root value will be divided by 50. After doing this exercise, we will get for herd A we have 4.24 centimeter length for the square. For B we get value 2, and for C the value of the side of the square is 1.26 centimeter. So in this way we will calculate the length of this one side of the square for different herd. So in this way now we can make our square on the paper. So this way we can make our square diagram. So a square diagram is also represented on this slide. So this is the solution for this question. Now we will come to the second type of two-dimensional diagram. It's a circle diagram. In such diagrams, in circle diagrams, both the total and the component parts can be shown. The area of the circle is proportional to a square of the radius. It's obvious, we know that the area of the circle is proportional to the square of radius. So as in the construction of a square, the square roots of various figures are worked out while constructing the circle. Circle can be used in all those cases in which squares are used. So the calculation is a bit similar to our square calculation. We will again here square root the figure, and in this way we will calculate the radius of this circle. We will see one question, the same question, 3 herds having same population. We again did the square root, and now we will divide this value by 100. We can divide by any value, but here this time we are dividing this by 100. So the radius of the circles are 2.1 centimeter for A herd, 1 centimeter for B herd, and 0.6 centimeter for C herd. So in this way we are making circle for different herds different circles are represented on this slide. So this way we can make different size of circles for different hertz. So this is all about circle diagram. Now we will see pie diagram or sector diagram. These diagrams are based on the fact that area of each circle is proportional to its radius. Hence the radius of the circle represent square root of the magnitude. Also, if each magnitude is divided into a number of components, then the 360 degree of the circles are subdivided according to the proportion of the magnitude of each component to the total magnitude of the items. So this will be more clear when we will solve one question. I have one question based upon this pie diagram. So this is the question, and we have species Y wise population in a herd, species wise and year wise population. In 2005-6, in 2007-8, we have different species: cattle, buffalo, sheep, goat, poultry. Cattle population was 84, buffalo 42, sheep 100, goat 200, poultry 800 in 2005-6. In 2007-8, the number of cattle 88, buffalo 45, sheep 120, goat 240 and poultry 1100. Okay, so for making the circle, we calculated the total population. In 2005-6, total population was 1226, and total population in 2007-8 it's 1592. Now we will square root this value. It's 35 for 2005-6. It's around 40 in 2007-8. Now for getting radius value, we will divide both these value by 20. So for 2005-6, the value of radius is 1.75 centimeter, and the value of radius for 2007-8 is 1.99 centimeter. So this is the value of radius for different years on the basis of total number of animals. Now we will calculate for making pie diagram. We will calculate certain degrees angles for different species. So the total for year 2005-6, we have 84 cattle out of total 1226. So for getting angle, we out of 360 degree, because one circle is 360 degrees. So for getting proper degrees for cattle, the calculation is like this: 84 divided by total number of animals, this is 1236, and this division will be multiplied by 360. In this way we will get the value 25 degree. It's rounded value, it will be 25 degree. So for every species we have certain degrees. For buffalo we have 12 degree, sheep 29 degree, goat 59 degrees, and for poultry 235 degrees. So summation of all these will be 360 degrees. Similarly, for 2007-8, we have different degrees for different species. For cattle it's 20 degree, for buffalo 10 degrees, sheep 27 degrees, for goat it is 54 degrees, and for poultry it's 249 degrees. So using this degree, now we can make sectors, different area for the species, and different species were also represented by different colors. So and these different colors are represented on the diagrams. So in this way we can solve this type of questions. So this is one another way for making pie diagram. This way different favorite fruit from the individuals may be represented like this. 10% individuals like banana, 20% pineapple, 13% individuals people like orange, 27% like grapes, and 10% like peach. So in this way we can, as per the percentage, we can give the area of the circle for different fruits. So this way we can represent our data. So this is one another example here. Values for different countries are represented here. Italy 30.3%, Ireland 17.7%, Iceland 10.7%, Greece 10.2%, Germany 10.2%, and others 21%. So as per the percentage we represented this pie diagram. Now for others, we again, for others 21%, for others may be represented on some separate circle. So this way we can represent our data. Now it's all about two-dimensional diagram. Now we will discuss three-dimensional diagram. In these diagrams, the length, width, and height have to be taken into account. Such diagrams are used where the range of difference between the smallest and the largest value is very large. Then we will use three-dimensional diagrams. These are also known as volume diagram. Cylinder, sphere, cubes, etc. are known as three-dimensional diagrams. So this is one of the example. Here we used length, height, width, all three dimensions for making such diagrams. So this is all about this topic. Thanks for watching my video, and I just want to mention that almost every topics from population genetics are covered on my channel. So you can see these, you can access those video on my channel. So and also I will request you all, please comment on the comment section of the video for the betterment of this video.